Detention Center. Oops. We have Clinton Calloway first. And Megan. Megan's on here. She gone.
Hey, Judge.
Yes, ma'am.
In our conference room, you want me to bring her in and let her use my computer?
Yeah, I think she got knocked off the computer for some reason.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone.
Are y'all? We're doing Mr. Calloway first, so y'all are probably on the next one. So.
Good morning, Your Honor. How are you doing?
There's Megan now. Tony, is she getting back on?
Yeah, she told me she was logging in right now.
Yeah.
Told her if she continues to have problems, just come to my office.
Sounds good. There she is right there. There we go.
Sorry, Judge.
That's all right. We're going to do Mr. Calloway first. Did you want to call him to testify?
Yeah, sure. I'll call him briefly.
If you would, Mr. Calloway, raise your right hand and be sworn. You swear or affirm testimony about to give be truth, the whole truth, nothing but truth, stuff you got.
Yes, sir.
Right. And I do have a
Thank
copy of the mental health assessment. I have read it for the purpose of this hearing.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Calloway, would you please state your name for the record?
Clinton E. Calloway.
Okay. Mr. Calloway, you understand we're here today solely to discuss the possibility of the court granting you a mental health bond under 17.032. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
We're not here to discuss the underlying offense, but simply whether or not you should be granted a mental health bond.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Can you tell the judge, is your current diagnosis major depressive disorder?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you currently receiving medication in the jail?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is that medication helping you?
I think it is very much so.
Have you previously been hospitalized for your mental health disorder?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you currently receiving any type of disability, Medicaid or Social Security?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
And with Medicaid, are you able to receive resources outside of the jail that you could not now receive in the jail?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And your case, you've had an opportunity to meet with the social worker with regards to an action plan if the court releases you on a mental health bond. Is that correct?
I'm assuming.
You've talked to the social worker about going to the CRU. Is that correct?
That was that Life Path?
The CRU is the program that you would go directly from the jail into that program. It's the 2 to 14 day inpatient treatment center.
Yes, ma'am.
And you'd be coordinated. It would be a coordinated release from the jail to the CRU. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And subsequent to that, do you understand that you would coordinate with LifePath to be reevaluated for substance abuse rehab?
Yes, ma'am.
And you are in agreement to do these things?
Yes, ma'am. Very much.
Currently, Mr. Calloway, you cannot receive these services in jail. Is that right?
No, ma'am.
One of the issues that you have is where you're going to reside once you leave CRU, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And will you coordinate with the social worker through the mental health department and possibly jail diversion to assist with housing?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you willing to go to the Salvation Army or to one of the shelters upon release from CRU?
Yes, ma'am. Very much.
All right. Mr. Calloway, have you ever been in trouble before for assaultive behavior?
Yes, ma'am.
You understand the judge can take that into consideration as to whether or not to release you on a mental health bond, but you are asking the court for treatment under the mental health bond conditions. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll pass the witness at this time.
Does the state have any questions?
Mr. Calloway, so right now, you're telling the court that you don't necessarily know where you would go after you would finish with the CRU unit?
Yes, sir. I have some limited information with the Salvation Army, and they have something. I'm not sure what the 3-letter little acronym or initials are, but I want to say they refer to it as well as some sort of CRU program where it's not necessarily just the shelter aspect. It's also more of a program, a more extended program that they have.
And do you have any family in the area?
I have family in Decatur, Denton area, up that way.
Would you have any mode of transportation to be able to get to and from court for your court dates?
I'm pretty reliant with the DART system.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Anything else from the defendant?
Your Honor, the defense rests.
Anything else from the state?
Your Honor, I'd just like to read his criminal history into the record.
Okay.
He was arrested in 2013 for public intox with 3 prior convictions and sentenced in November of 2013, sentenced to 21 days. He was arrested a month later in 2013, in December of 2013, on the same charge, public intox with 3 prior convictions, and given 30 days jail. He was arrested in January of 2014 for Class B theft and given 39 days jail. He was arrested in October of 2014 for criminal trespass and given 9 days jail. He was arrested in October of 2014 for public intox with 3 prior convictions and given 15 days jail. Again, in 2014, he was arrested on that same charge and given 36 days. And then 15 days later, at the end of 2014, arrested on that same charge and given 30 days. He was then arrested in 2015 for Class B theft, and he was given 15 days jail. He was arrested in December of 2015 for ag assault deadly weapon and was released without prosecution. On that same day, he was arrested for a terroristic threat and also released without prosecution. He was arrested in 2015 for terroristic threat causing fear or imminent serious bodily injury, and he was given 30 days jail. In 2017, he was arrested for possession of a controlled substance, PG Group 1, and as a result, he was given 120 days in jail. In 2018, he was arrested again for possession of a controlled substance. He was given 100 days jail. In 2018, he was arrested for terroristic threat and given 7 days jail. In September of 2018, he was arrested for injury to an elderly child or disabled person with serious bodily injury, and that was no-billed in Dallas. He was arrested again in November of 2018 for violation of a bond of protective order and given 6 years deferred. He was eventually revoked in 2020 and sentenced to 2 years TDCJ. Again, on those same charges, he was arrested for obstruction in that same incident, given 6 years deferred, revoked for 2 years before these new charges that are pending here today. State rest and close.
Any argument?
Your Honor,
I know you want a bond.
Your Honor, just due to the defendant's criminal history, would oppose a bond at this time.
Yeah, the problem too is that on the mental health assessment, it doesn't explain that he has a mental illness. I think he's a substance abuse problem. That's different from mental illness. And because of the criminal history and the mental health assessment, I'm going to deny bond this time. Your lawyer will talk to you later about it all.
Judge, just for the record on the mental health bond assessment, it says most recent diagnosis per CCDF included major depressive disorder.
Yeah, I saw that, but
Okay, yes, sir.
Above there where it's unknown and anyway, so good luck. We'll see you soon.
Thank you, Judge.
And Martinez, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor.
All right. My computer's working real slow today. All right, Christian Daniel Martinez, possession marijuana charge. What's the other charge?
It's an evading charge, Your Honor.
Okay. And I do have a copy of the mental health assessment. I'm going to consider it for the purpose of this hearing. Did you want to call your client to testify?
Yes, sir, I can. Your Honor, can I also make some introductions here?
Sure.
We have Mr. Gumercindo Martinez, Christian's father. We also have Michelle Sandlin. She is the consultant that has helped me get to this point. And then we also have Don Radin, who's the owner and operator of Recovered and Free treatment center that we hope to admit Mr. Martinez to
Yeah.
if granted this motion.
And did you want your client to testify?
Yes, sir, just briefly.
All right, Ms. Martinez, if you would raise your right hand and be sworn. You swear or affirm testimony about to give be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
All right.
All right, Christian, do you understand? First of all, can you state your name for the record?
Christian Daniel Martinez.
Thank you. And do you understand that we're here today simply to discuss whether or not you'll be granted a mental health bond?
Yes, sir.
And do you also understand that if granted that mental health bond, you'll be released into Mr. Radin's custody in order to begin treatment?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Now, did you have an opportunity to discuss some issues with Michelle Sandlin about 2 weeks ago?
Yes, sir.
All righty. And in that discussion, oh, did you have something, Your Honor?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought I heard something. Okay. In that discussion, did you talk to her about some coping mechanisms you started developing in your preteen years?
Yes, sir.
And did those include some disordered eating, some self-harm in the form of cutting, and then marijuana use?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you also discuss the possibility of completing your high school education?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And did you talk about possible treatments if you were to be released on a mental health bond?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. And then if released on a mental health bond, are you in agreement to treat at Mr. Radin's facility and also possibly work on getting your high school diploma?
Yes, I am.
Okay, thank you. At this time, I can pass the witness, Your Honor.
Does the state have any questions?
Just briefly, Your Honor. Mr. Martinez, have you ever had past treatment for any of your issues?
No, sir.
What exactly is your mental health diagnosis?
So far they said depression.
Depression. And when were you diagnosed?
I wasn't formally diagnosed by the doctor. Like, nobody took me. It's just whenever I spoke to the counselor, like over here, that's what they said.
And did they give you any medications or anything to take?
No, I didn't ask for any medication.
Are you currently taking any medication in jail?
No, sir.
Have you ever taken any medication to help with your mental health diagnosis?
No, sir.
Have you ever received, and you already said you haven't received treatment for anything in your past?
Mm-mm.
Okay. And what exactly do you know about this facility you'll be going to and what treatment you'll be getting?
It's for addiction and mental health, and I believe it's 1 month to 3 months.
Okay. And if you successfully complete that, or say it's 1 month, where would you go after you complete that?
I'll go to my parents' home
And where do your parents live?
in Garland, Texas.
And would you have your own primary transportation, or would your parents be your primary transportation?
I guess my parents would be my primary transportation.
And do you know anything about the treatment you'll be, like any specific classes or anything you'll be receiving? You said it's for addiction and mental health.
I'm not too sure about the classes.
Okay. I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Anything else from the defense?
Just that if Your Honor wishes to hear more about treatment, we do have Mr. Radin here.
Well, here's the problem. In reviewing the mental health assessment, it says he has no mental illness. The purpose of these bonds is to solely get someone out of jail to get treatment for mental illness. And I get that it's better for him to be in treatment than to be in jail, but that's not the purpose of these bonds. And I can't give him a mental health bond when he doesn't show to have a mental illness, even though they're kind of intertwined. What are his, I guess he has or either his cases aren't filed yet, I guess. One's
Correct.
filed. Okay. I mean, the best thing to do, I think, is to go to whatever court they land in and ask the judge that it gets assigned to give him PR bonds and get him into these programs, because it's obviously better than sitting in jail. So, but I don't have any power without a mental health diagnosis to do anything.
Okay, Your Honor. And so I just wanted to double check, even on the strength of the screening that Ms. Sandlin did, which is attached to the motion. Does that still hold true?
Yeah, I mean, we have to have a mental health diagnosis. We have to put him in a program where we're monitoring his medication and monitoring his treatments and those types of things. And because his initial diagnosis from the jail folks doesn't diagnose a mental health issue, it's more of a substance abuse issue, we can't do anything with him. That's where the problem is. We kind of have our hands tied. I think he can certainly go to whatever court these things land in and get the PR bond and put them into the program that you're talking about, but we can't do it this way, if you see what I'm saying. Yeah.
I do understand, Your Honor. I do have the motion ready for at least the 296th, where the case has been filed. One of his cases has been filed.
Well, and this one, it's a FOD. The FOD creates a case also where you can get it assigned to a court. I don't know which court it's going to be assigned to, but just go to whatever misdemeanor court the marijuana case winds up in. And I'd start with the 296, whatever they do. I'm sure the mental health, the misdemeanor court would do also. So
yes, sir.
That's probably the best way to do it. Is in court 4? Okay, it's going to be in court 4. So
okay.
But anyway, I just can't do anything right now. So because of the way these 17032 motions are set, so my hands are tied. I wish I could do something for you though. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, good luck. Yeah, I'm gonna have to deny the bonds, but I think you know what to do to
Yes,
get it set up. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Good,
Thank you.
Good luck, y'all. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Judge.